What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Cortney, and we are back with episode 3. Now, this has got to be the most anticipated episode of season 1. What's the title of the episode? F them folks. I said it. F them folks. But it's not what y'all thinking. The Saints not cussing. We not cussing. But we're going to unpack this thing, and we're really going to, dive into it today. So go ahead. I need y'all to grab y'all little coffee mugs and get into this coffee or tea or water or whatever it is that you might be drinking in your cup. And we're going to talk about it today, y'all. So I got my friends in the studio, as always. I'm going to let them introduce their own selves because why not? So go for it, sis. Tell the people who you are.
Hey, everybody. My name is Maleeka Holloway. What about me? I'm from Atlanta, number one. So let's be clear. Let's be clear. I am a native. I'm from here because people love to say we never meet anybody from Atlanta. But I'm just a person that loves people. And, of course, I'm a serial entrepreneur. That's what I'm known for. But at the end of the day, what I want to be known for is just helping people live better lives.
Can I send you a Cash App request right now?
Right now.
I'm probably going to decline it, but
Right now, because I'm just trying to get about $5. Well, thank you so much.
Give me a chicken wing.
So excited to have you here in the studio with me today, sis. This is my sister, y'all.
Me,
boy Vlad.
Of course. I'm a fake co-host right now because I've been on 3 episodes so far. My name's Vlad. I work at the studio that Cortney is recording in. And
it's a wonderful studio, by
I appreciate
it.
It is. Shout out to Bravo.
Thank you. And, yeah, I've been here for about 6 years now. So, yeah, I'm an engineer. I've been recording music for a while. Music's my life. So that's about it for me. I'm simple.
All right, y'all. Well, we're going to go ahead and unpack this thing.
Let's do it.
Listen, this is a loaded topic right here. This is a loaded topic. F them folks. Now, listen.
All of them. And
all
mama
of them.
Too.
Your mama.
The dog.
Your grandma.
Your goddaddy. Your godmama.
All of them. Listen. So, y'all, we are literally talking about people who have just done us wrong. I'm not talking about that surface. I'm not talking about surface did you wrong. I'm not talking about they stepped on your toe. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about trusted people, people you've called friends, your family, the closest people to you, just really going out on a limb and basically just hawking from the pit of their stomach.
They hawked it.
They hawked it. They hawked it.
I can't even do it.
I can't even do it. But they hawked from the pit of their belly, and they got it right here in the back of their throat, and they literally just spit.
Yeah.
Not on you, but in your face. We're talking about those people today.
You know, I had somebody spit in my face before.
Oh, girl, no. And you not in prison?
To me.
I'd have been walking that orange suit, baby.
I should have been. Let me tell you how good God is.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah, that's one of those situations, people, I've had a whole life before now. I tell people, I've lived a whole life.
Whole life.
In that particular situation, I had a man, hawk it up, spit, and landed right here.
Oh, my God.
In the middle of my face. In the middle of the road, y'all, in the middle of the road.
Oh,
and I was just sitting here like,
oh, my God.
What do I do?
Oh, my God.
What do I do?
Oh, my God.
I just remember that moment. I cannot believe this man just did that.
But you know what? It's funny you should say that because sometimes we get ourselves and people be like, oh, if it was me,
I would have.
But you never know what you're going to do in a situation until it happens to you.
If somebody had told me, I'd be like, I would have did. I was dumbfounded.
Because you just never know until you're there.
Yeah, but I'll never forget that moment. I remember somebody saying, back in the day, my family's from Selma. Shout out to Selma, right?
Alabama,
so we know all about the civil rights movement and how much stuff happened to us. And people, they got spit on. It's it just takes you to another place of questioning, is that all I'm worth?
Man.
Is somebody to do that to me? So I remember feeling that. But I remember also saying, oh, that'll never happen again.
Never happen again.
Never. And it has not, and it will not.
But
I just remember, if I could sum up that relationship, that's what it was. So when you say F them people, that moment, right
F
there.
them folks! F them folks! I say that with my chest.
Yes. All your chest. Got to say it from your gut.
The gut.
What was the thing that happened that led to that? Was it just...
I wish I could tell you. Let me tell you. So I was in this was my first marriage. So it was a serious committed marriage. And it was also abusive. emotionally, mentally, physically, all the stuff. That was just one of the days he decided to pick a fight. Sometimes nothing will happen.
Right.
And so, you get people who be like, if it was me, I would have. And what did you say?
Yeah.
I didn't say nothing. I didn't do nothing. It was just one of those days. This is what we're going to do today. And so that's what I'm saying. I wish I could tell you what actually happened, but I woke up that day. And that's how the day played out. Yeah. People always think they know. Oh, well, y'all must have been fighting and arguing. I'm not a confrontational person. I know people may think I am because I really do have a big personality. But I'm like, no, I just like to be chill, ducked off in the corner. And when you're dealing with people who are not confident in themselves and they see you and they see your big personality. At that time, I was going after my degree, had a full scholarship, had my little Cadillac CTS, I had my own apartment. So I had a lot going for me, but I connected with somebody who did not. And that was a threat to them. And so I feel like their mission, I can't even say it was their mission, whatever spirit they had on them in that time of their life, their mission was to make sure that I didn't get to where I was supposed to be. And literally anything they could do outside of actually killing me.
Right.
They did it.
That's crazy.
I got a chipped tooth right here. You can see my ear glued back together. Y'all, just stuff. From being and dealing with people and staying in situations where it's hard to say F them people. Yeah. Because as women, Vlad, you might not identify, but we like to nurture people.
I don't.
We do.
And we...
let me tell you what my problem is.
He said, no, I don't.
Let me tell you what my problem is.
Yeah.
First of all, and I touched on this in another episode, but I fall in love with potential.
Yes.
That's number one.
Not trajectory.
And number two, I be thinking I'm like, Doc McStuffins. I be trying to fix, you know what I'm saying? I be taking on projects and trying to fix... You can't fix nobody.
I used to do that too.
You can't fix these folks.
You can't. You can barely fix yourself. Let's be clear. But in being a nurturer, you're like, you know what? It's gonna get better. Especially me. I was like, God honors marriage. I gotta stay in it. I signed up for it. Nobody told me. I had never seen it.
Child, y'all come back next week for episode 4. We talking about marriage and divorce. Come back next week. Come back next week.
But nobody told me that I didn't have to. The same way they didn't tell me I had to get in it. But when I was in it, I was like, I'm going to figure it out. I just remember at one point in time saying to myself, you know what? This is what you chose for yourself. Just deal with it.
That's
like I had just gave up. And even now, I look at some of our prospects out here and I'm just like, yo, this all we got.
This all we got going.
This it. Right. I don't want to build nobody else up.
Nah.
I need somebody to build me.
You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Listen, if you ain't 50 and up, don't even talk to me.
50?
Listen.
No, that's reaching. Give me 35
I'll
and
take
up.
50.
Between 35, 45,
I'll
50.
take 50.
Okay, so what's up with the age?
I'm just lying. I'm not.
Because I'm like, she is
But still,
not.
I mean, I need somebody.
You can date your brother's friends.
Jill Scott said something so profound in a podcast. I think she was may have been the Breakfast Club. But she said something, and it has literally resonated with me. She said these words. If you can tell me what to do, then you can tell me what to do.
Yes.
But if you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to do. And that is me.
Yep.
That's me.
Yeah.
So I need, not saying that younger people can't be mature and whatever, but I borderline need a sugar daddy.
But as women, we already more mature. No offense to you.
No offense for that.
To the men listening. We're already more mature anyway.
I'm the one, so it's okay. It's fine. It's totally fine.
But we're already, so for me, like, I can't go under where I am right now. As of today, I'm 32 years old. What do I look like with a 28-year-old? What we about to play patty cake?
Fine. It looks fine.
I know. I done had a whole life. I got a whole child from that life.
You know what I'm saying?
Multiple companies. I'm out
that
here.
That person that's 28 might be mature, might be
I ain't
relaxed.
met him yet.
I sure ain't met him.
I ain't even met another 32, 33, 34, 40-year-old.
I haven't. And I'm 36 years old out here in these streets. And I have yet. That's why I said, but I think also, I'm the product of an older parent.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Shout out to my mama. My mama made us go viral, y'all.
Over 1 million views.
Over a million
You gotta
views.
tell the people that.
Because she decided she wanted to have a baby at 40 years old. But anyway, I'm the product of an older parent. So, my mom, she'll be 76 on Sunday. And I'm 36, but I'm really like 66.
Yeah, that's what you feel like.
And so, as a result of that, I think that younger men don't really know how to handle me. So,
I agree.
That's part of the problem.
Younger men, older men, no men. They just don't. Not that they can't. They don't know how.
Facts.
So F them too.
F them too. I found too. But anyway, but again, just dealing with people who have really, y'all, I can't even tell y'all. I've had situation after situation after situation where people have literally they've hurt me, they've talked about me, they've lied on me, they ridiculed me, they just all of this stuff. And you do get to a place where you'll be like, F these folks.
Yeah. It's so interesting. Like, if people talk about me, it don't make it back to me. Let me say that much. I'm gonna be honest. Like, people like, I have my haters. They talk about me. I'm like, how do you know?
How you know?
Because don't know if they saying it don't make it back to me. Don't nobody say, oh, such and such said. It's literally, in my 32 years, never happened. I'm sure they do talk. Because I am who I am, right?
I think my experience has been more like personal. It's not a sense of people talking behind my back. Like, all of my stuff has been in your face, just
why you let these people play in your face?
See what I'm talking about? I don't even be. I don't now. Let's be very clear.
You don't know more. Okay, I'm glad you have graduated, because I'm like, first of all, ain't nobody.
But no,
play
seriously,
in my face.
and I used to be a very very loving and quiet person. I'm still loving, but I speak up big time nowadays. But just back then and growing up, because a lot of my issues came from the church.
Ooh, the air just went out of the room.
Y'all got real. I'm preaching better than y'all saying amen. But it's okay.
I'm just taking it all in.
Oh, okay. But a lot of my issues came from the church, and it was growing up. So as a young person, and you're a child, your parents teach you, you have to stay in the child's place. So a lot of the issues I didn't even get to address until I was an adult. And by the time I was an adult, you're doing your own thing, and you don't really realize how much you were affected until life starts happening. And then I started to realize, like, dang, I'm still messed up from stuff that happened.
And see, I think I noticed as a child growing up in church, I never, and one of the vows that I broke with myself that I had to repent for was I was like, I will never go back into ministry again. As a child, I'm like, everybody that's in church, they miserable, they broke, they unhappy, they talking about people. I'm like, what kind of God they got? Like, I don't want to know him. Like, this is the worst. And so as an adult, I get to make my own decisions. I ain't doing none of that, right? And so I think that when you encounter those people, especially in the church, number one, people gonna be peopling. That's just what they gonna do.
That is what.
But when you are a child and they tell you to stay in the child's place, for me, being a parent now, I don't use that with my child.
Yeah.
Stay in the child's place. Nah, if you're uncomfortable, you speak up.
Yeah.
If somebody's saying or doing something that you feel like, I don't care who it is. It could be me.
That's right.
Call it out.
Right.
And you tell them they can come holler at me.
Right.
Because I feel like so many people are walking around as damaged adults because of what happened in their childhood. Totally. With their family.
I'm talking about
with their church family.
Damage.
And I feel like that's whack. Like,
it's
I was
so
like,
whack.
I refuse to raise an adult that has to heal from me being their mom.
And they don't want to heal.
And they don't want to.
Listen.
And they don't know what it looks like.
Because I didn't know what it looked like.
Until now.
I did not know it. I was 30 years old. And I was so messed up. And, I had to get to a place of... The first battle was looking at myself and realizing that I was messed up. The second battle was, making the decision to get help and try to be better. In which I did, and I'm thankful for that. I tell people all the time.
How'd you get help? You did therapy?
I did, yeah.
Perfect.
Therapy was the best decision that I could have ever made for myself as an adult. It's just, I encourage it. But, yeah, and it's like you get to a place to where it's like, people, they do you wrong, and, we have the tendency to say F them. But this episode.
The other F.
The other is about the other F. And that other F, y'all, it's two-part, actually.
Yeah.
The first part is facing the people who did it to you.
Yeah.
What the heck does that look like, Cortney?
I would challenge you on that one, though. I wouldn't even say facing the people that did it to you. I would say facing yourself.
I did that. That's first.
Because that's first. Like that. Because for me, and let me say it this way for me, for people that have hurt me, what I had to do is I had to first look at myself and ask, what about me made this okay?
Yeah.
What about this made it okay for abuse?
Yeah.
For me to be spit on, for me to be cheated on, for people to talk about me, for people to lie. Like, what about me? Number one, do I treat people this way? And sometimes that's a hard reality
Yeah.
to face, especially when you don't know better for real.
Right.
You know of better, but you really don't know. And then when I'm able to deal with me and to sit with me and be like, child, your hands ain't clean.
Yeah.
First thing I had to do is start talking to me and forgive myself.
Yeah.
Then I've been able to face other people.
Right.
Because you really can't face other people when you ain't clean.
I think the thing with that, though, is, and that is so true, because as an adult, I had to look in the mirror a lot of times and be like, hey, you know.
Get your stuff together.
Get your stuff. And, like, be better. Do
Yeah.
better. You know what I'm saying? When you know better, you do better. But I think one of the hardest things to do is face yourself or try to, you get in a place of blame. And that was half of my problem.
Yep.
Because when I was facing myself and saying, why is this happening? We talking about a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
What did I do? What did I do for adults to be picking at me? You know what I'm saying? 15, 16. I'm a kid. What did I do? I didn't do nothing.
They were still children.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So that set up a trap for me
Yeah.
when it came to looking in the mirror, because I looked in the mirror and I blamed myself for stuff I didn't even do.
Yeah.
What did I do? So then you really be like, once you realize, hey, I didn't do nothing, I went into this bitter place of, man, F them folks.
Yep.
F them. But I then grew to the place of, you know what? I get to face the people who did this to me. And I get to take charge of my now. And I get to pray and I get to be a better person. And ultimately, y'all, it led me to the second F. Forgiveness. Now, that's the part where accountability came big on my part. And that's when I looked in the mirror and I said, okay, now, let's talk about you as an adult. We're not talking about that 14-year-old girl no more. We're talking about 30 plus. Let's talk about you. And God literally slow walked me and said, I forgive you every day.
Every day.
Multiple
times a day.
Multiple times a day.
I'm bad with that word.
I forgive you with the stuff that nobody even know about but me and you.
Got a whole lot of that.
Hold on, God. Now, wait a minute. Hold on now. No, I forgive you. I forgive you. So then how dare you walk around and harbor that in your heart when I forgive you? You got to let it go. And at the point of letting go, y'all, you just find this great release.
Yes, it's so peaceful.
You know, it's just this woosah moment where you like, wow, I really like, you know, I forgive you. I tell, forgiveness is not really about them.
It's not. It's for you.
Forgiveness is for you. It's for you.
Yeah, I'm still working on that word.
And that's okay. Because guess what? I mean, I feel like
look, we all still working on it.
We all still working
on it. It's a journey.
On it.
You got to walk that thing out.
Especially when you get triggered. Like, triggers are not my friend. Because, whew.
That's how I am, because if I'm dealing with somebody that did something that I didn't respect, you know, towards me, then for me it's hard to deal with it, because then I don't want to forgive myself, you know, in that situation, because I'm like, okay, like you said earlier, you almost let it happen. But I think, to also piggyback on what you were saying earlier about dealing with people that you let disrespect you in that way, and you're not forced, but you want to forgive them. It's almost as if you're so good of a person that you allow these people to come into your life, and in all different walks of life. So by the time you realize that, no, you're not supposed to allow this behavior, and that behavior, it's too late. They've already done the deed. So then you're like, you're sitting there, have to have this like real battle for a second. And
it is a battle.
Yeah. And you're like, wait a minute. Oh, so I am a good person. So I'm supposed to treat people right. But then what if they do this to me? So I'm not supposed to fight. Okay, let me put my hands down. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a tough line to walk sometimes.
It is. But I feel like even what you said, or it could have been you, Cortney, somebody said something about you felt guilty. A lot of times we internalize other people's actions as if it has something to do with us.
Right.
One of the things that's really helped me to forgive people, of course, I've been in therapy since 2019.
Come on, therapy.
Whole nother story for this second life, right? But I've been in therapy since 2019, and one thing I had to realize is that I have nothing to do with other people's choices and decisions.
Yes.
Nothing at all. And that was hard, to realize that. Like, wait, so they didn't just drug me. But what do I do with that? It had nothing to do with me. Once I was able to really sit with that, even stuff from childhood, teenagerhood, young adulthood, all the way up until now, I'm able to forgive very quickly.
Somebody drugged you?
No, I mean, no.
Like,
Nobody drugged me.
Okay.
Like they drugged
That's what I heard. I was like, wait, what? What?
They gave some crack.
No, not that. Not that.
Okay.
Not
No,
that kind
I
of
mean,
drug.
like drug as in like emotionally, spiritually,
Man.
mentally, physically.
Okay, gotcha.
Like now, whenever somebody does something that doesn't sit well with me, I'll be like, wait a minute. What type of person are they? Or what type of person do I know them to be?
Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we see people's representative.
Yeah.
We were talking about that with pre-podcast. It's like, I'm here, I'm going to work. This is my work face. That's what people present. So I know, what do I know them to be? Well, guess what? They're not happy with themselves.
Right.
So they don't even know how to treat me.
Right.
Yeah.
Once I'm able to sit with those thoughts and those truths and realities, it's so easy for me to forgive. Now, just because I forgive you, that doesn't mean I have to break bread with you.
Baby, and I ain't gonna never
you
forget.
will not.
I tell you that. I tell you that right now.
Saying,
I tell you that right now.
I don't forget either.
Oh, baby, I'm gonna
I don't
forgive
fool with
you,
you. I'm
but
forgiving
baby,
you.
I ain't gonna forget. I ain't
It's a
gonna
wrap.
ever forget what you did.
Yeah, I don't forget nothing. But I'm like, what I have to remember, like, because I try not to freeze people in those moments. Like,
Yeah.
you hurt me, so now you got to live in that hurt. Like, I
Right.
got to live in that moment with you. I work hard not to do that.
Right.
But also in that, I have to talk to myself and be like, all right, you done hurt people too.
Yeah.
How would you, what type of
Yeah.
energy, what type of feelings would you want somebody to be harboring about you?
Right.
And so I try to do the opposite. Like, it's, when I say an everyday thing.
It's no
It's an
seriously.
everyday
It's a
thing.
decision
Because
every
you
day.
get triggered.
Yeah.
So here's for me, even though I had that past life where I was married, I done had a relationship that I was in that, in my opinion, people won't challenge me because I be like, I feel like when somebody betrays your trust,
Man.
it is worse than physical abuse.
Tuh.
It literally made my brain chemicals stop functioning,
I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
right? And so for me, I was like, nah, that serious relationship was worse than that marriage because it literally changed my chemical makeup to
Yeah.
where I'm not the same. And even in that, what I've had to remind myself, whenever I see people getting engaged, living these happy-go-lucky lives, I be legit happy for them. Then I be like,
Is it a trigger?
it's a trigger.
Wow.
Oh, it's a trigger. To the point where I was like, oh, I don't want to get married. I don't want to be with nobody.
Girl, I've been
No,
there, done that.
marriage is a business decision, which it still is.
It still is. Let's be
going
clear.
into it again, whenever that happens, it's a business decision. But I get triggered by it. Not because I'm not happy, not because I'm jealous or anything, but the points in my life where I've been hurt the most have come from romantic relationships.
Right.
So those things are triggers for me. So what I try to do is send as much love, light, Jesus prayers to people who are seemingly happy in love. Like somebody, my friends, be like, I'm engaged. Baby, I'm about to pray for you. I hope y'all stay happy. Like, I send that to them because that's what I want them to do to me. Because I know that me supporting them is actually triggering me.
Wow.
Every single time.
That
I just
is
did a post
so
about it the other day. I'm
interesting.
like,
I saw
and
it.
I was legit happy. Like, everybody getting engaged. And a
saw
lot of them
that.
were old, like 40 plus. And I'm like, even one of my old connections, she's still a virgin. She might be 50 now. But she just
Wow.
got engaged.
That's beautiful.
And I was so happy for her. But then I said I want to be married again by 30. Look at me. So it was, it's that thing. So I'm literally having
triggers are real.
Triggers are real.
But I like what you did though, because
Yeah,
in the midst of your trigger, you turned it into something good. You're still congratulatory.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're still sending love. You're still sending light. So that's a good thing. I'm gonna start doing that
You
with my
got
triggers.
to. With anything that triggered me. But I know, like, for me, relationships, at first I don't want to be in a relationship, forget all that soft girl, all that. And now I'm like, no, that's actually what I want to be. I just waiting on my person, right?
Wow.
But while I'm waiting, let me be to people what I want somebody to be to me when my time comes. I don't want nobody hating on me and reminding me of what I went through. Trust me, I remember. It's in there, right? But that's what I do for forgiveness. Even when people, I know they may have lied
Right.
or something like that, I'm like, well, who were they in that moment?
That's good,
I don't want to
sis.
freeze
And
them
listen,
down.
my sis said that she's gotten to a place to where she can forgive people quickly. That's beautiful, sis. Now, that's not my testimony, all right? And I want to say, and it's different for different people, and
Absolutely.
I respect that. You know what I'm saying? I want to be at a place to where I can forgive quickly. And, you know, as you grow, even in Christ, you get to that place where you can do it, depending on the situation.
Depending on the situation,
you know, you can do it faster. But baby, let me and let me just say this.
What you say?
Forgiveness can be a process, because what I hate for people to do, and people always like to do this to people. Oh, well, you just holding on your no. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
You did something really, really detrimental, and it affected me. Give me a minute. I'm gonna forgive you.
Yeah.
But don't rush me.
But I tell you when I'm forgiven. You can't stab me and then say, hurry up and heal.
Yeah.
No. I'm going to heal
still bleeding.
when I heal. You better back up before I cut you.
Hello?
So even though I do forgive quickly, like I'm one that don't forget, and I don't allow you back into the same space that you were once in.
Right.
I don't care if you're my sister, brother, auntie, baby daddy, cousin, Tracy.
Yeah. And
you got one time. I've forgiven you,
got one time.
but you don't get back in that space.
Right. And I want to make it a point that forgiveness is like it's a process, you know.
I think it's a journey.
Good God.
I think it's a journey. It's because you know what, processes, there are beginnings and there are endings. With journeys, you just go. There's a destination, but I don't think we gon' with that forgiveness thing, until we gon' float on up to glory. I think that's just something we just gonna have to be living with.
Child.
But what can be a process is how we're affected by it. That you can bring an end to that.
Case in point, my parents aren't together. My mom called me because my dad, he drives over the road trucking, and he has a couple other trucks that he keeps. I guess he has a couple other trucks that he keeps at the house, you know. But he moved out of his apartment, so he essentially lives in his truck. So he needed a place to put his trucks. His old apartment complex, he didn't like where he, you know, was leaving his trucks. So he asked me, he was like, "Can I leave the trucks in Mom's neighborhood?" I was like, I don't know. I guess you can. And he didn't ask her. So then I'm taking him to go drop off one of the trucks in the neighborhood. And then my mom finds out about it. And then she calls me. The first thing she does, she doesn't ask. She just starts going off. Why'd you have this man leave such a... And then that right there is a trigger to me, because when you don't ask and you already assume, now I just want to fight.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is.
Defensive already.
Yeah, I'm defensive already. I was just like, hold on, you don't get to, you know what I mean? Like I'm already on 10.
Yep.
I'm on 10. So then I had to tell her, I was like, you know, did you ask me like what happened? No, you didn't. You just assumed such and such happened. And so I had to tell her to calm down and then talk to him. I was like, why are you having this argument with me? It's not my truck. And so when I got off the phone, I had to like have it was like 5 people in my head that got out of my head. They sat in the car with me, and it was like, we're going to have a sit down, because I needed it, you know, because I was ready to fight, you know. And then when I'm in situations like that, I don't know how to, and it's such a small thing. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like anytime you come at me with anything, I just want to fight. I don't even, and I didn't realize that until I got older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It took a minute for me to realize that I had that in me. Because before I would either brush stuff off or act like it didn't matter. Then you start to make things, as you get older, you start to, you know, understand more.
Yeah.
So less problems happen. So when they do come up, like, I'm going to address this right now. And so when that happens, it's hard for me to like get out of that. Wow. So how do y'all deal with that? Because for me, it's tough. Because I'm still not at that even. I'm not even at where you're at, Cortney, with forgiveness. I'm just not.
Let me tell you about that good medication that I've been on this way. But no, for real. So for me, like, even with my therapy journey, like, my therapist did not want me to take medication. And I've been off of it now for 2 months, actually, right?
Congrats.
But what the remnants of the medication has done for me, I cannot sit in any emotion for more than about 10 minutes. Mm. It don't matter what type of emotion it is. It doesn't even matter what situation has happened.
Right.
I got about a 10-minute window where I'm going to feel it, and then I forget.
Wow.
It is, and I don't know if that's what's supposed to happen.
Man, that is
but
great.
Man,
that is what
that sounds like a
happens.
magic pill to me.
Now, it's medication. I never said I would take it, but because of the dark space that I was in, I was like, oh, yeah, this is not working. But what that's allowed me to do is to be really, like, objective when I'm looking at things. So in moments where I'm, like, heated,
right,
I know, oh, this is going to pass shortly.
Right.
And once it passes, I can then assess what just happened here.
Right.
So a lot of times I won't even respond. If somebody called, it don't happen often at all. Somebody coming at me crazy, I don't respond. I let myself feel whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I let it pass. Again, I told y'all, like, this last little heartbreak that I had altered the chemicals in my brain to the point where I'm not the same person. Man. So I know now that let me let this emotion pass. Once it passes, then I can respond.
Right.
I'm not a hothead, but I've always been, I'm the middle child. I'm my mama's outspoken child.
Got you.
I don't care who you are. You say something out the way, I respond immediately.
Yeah.
Being a business owner, you can see how that could get me in a little bit of trouble. Because you come at me crazy, boom. Now, I don't have that as much. Like I said, shout out to medication. But the remnants of it now, because I haven't been on it. But that's what happens. I'm able to say, okay, wait a minute. Let me hear first what they're saying. Then I can ask them, first of all, you came at me crazy. What's the real issue? Because what you're saying is not it. How did that make you feel? Because a lot of times people are coming at you, your mama was feeling a certain type of way.
Yeah.
But she didn't have the facts.
Right.
I can't argue with your feelings.
Yeah.
But we can talk about what the facts are.
Mm-hmm.
If you upset, okay, you're upset. Why are you upset? Right. And you'll find that half the time people don't even be knowing.
Mm-hmm. They really don't.
So how does that make you feel? And they be like, well, no. How did that make you feel? You felt like I dismissed you. Mm-hmm. How did that make you feel? Let's talk about the feeling, and then we can look at the facts. Right. So even with me, that therapy medication, it's like a blessing and a curse. Because I still, every day, like, when am I going to be back to my firecracker pop off, care about everything, hugging the trees? It may not ever. But what I am able to do is control more of how I respond to other people. Mm-hmm. So I'm not that firecracker no more. Even when I have triggers, I can still be like, you know what? I wish them the best. Matter of fact, y'all send me this. I need to send y'all a gift. Because I ain't trying to be at everybody's wedding and nothing like that.
Tell me what the name is.
But that's how I deal with it. I don't respond in the moment. Like, I feel like that's why we got TV shows like Snapped out there.
Yeah.
Because people snap. Yeah. Legit. I know it. Like, people snap. And instead of just giving themselves a moment to be like, wait, what am I feeling right now? It will save a lot of that. So even with, I think it's something about anyways, you know, with men and women coming at them crazy anyways. Yeah. That's a lot. I don't think women, sometimes we don't realize how much power we be having. Because when we get this popping off and snapping, men don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't.
That's true.
At all. And we just be rah, rah, rah. Mm-hmm. And then especially if you're dealing with your mama.
Right.
Because it's your mama.
Right.
You can't get, but for me, I'm like, I don't care who you are. We're not doing that.
Yeah, it almost got to that. That's why,
you know. And you don't want it to be because it's your mama.
Right.
And it's a woman.
And I'm naturally a calm person. You know, I don't have no, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have nothing in me that wants to get angry or nothing like that. I'm always relaxed and chill. So when stuff like that happens where I'm just forced to, like, you know, feel like I'm supposed to retaliate, that's when I'm like, all right, we got to dead this now.
Baby, I use that hang up button so quick on people.
So quick. And I think for me, y'all, it's like I was listening to y'all and how y'all process and how you react. And I'm actually exact opposite of you in terms of, because, you know, it started so young with me, with people doing things that I didn't understand or making me feel a certain type of way, and I couldn't really be vocal about it. I spent the first half of my life being quiet. Yeah. I never responded. And so I think that set me up for adulthood with people thinking that they could try me the way they did.
Yep. Absolutely.
And so, because we could say whatever to her. She ain't going to say nothing. She ain't going to do nothing. So now, oh, baby, I'm going to respond.
I'm ready.
Oh, baby, I'm
ready to respond.
I'm
responding and I'm reacting.
And both of them. And I can be honest enough to say that. Now, I don't hold grudges or nothing like that. But a part of what allows me to forgive, you know, and get there is the fact that I'm not quiet no more.
Yes.
I ain't quiet. No, I'm going to tell you what you said bothered me. No, I don't like what you said. No, that's a lie.
Right, you're lying.
You're lying. You know what I'm saying? Being vocal is what now helps me to get to that place of, okay, and I know when I go too far, and the Lord will be, all right, Cortney, that's enough.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? I know when I go too far, but I have to be vocal. I have to respond. I'm not going to say react.
You choose to. You choose to
I
respond.
choose to, but I feel like I have
vocal.
to.
Because you can always not.
Because
I don't agree with not. No, I'm very much, say what you mean and say it with your chest. Like, I don't like subliminals. I don't like talking around. I don't like passive aggressive. I
don't like that.
And this is something I'm working through therapy. I'm a very black and white person. Yeah. Which can work in my favor. Is no gray area. No gray. Either it is or it is not. But I do realize that most of the world lives in that gray and colorful space where there's so many possibilities.
I don't like that.
Not when it comes to me and what I need.
Yeah, I don't like that.
This is what I need. This is what I don't need. And so I feel like even with that, speaking up for yourself, I applaud anybody that speak up to themselves. I just always been that way.
Yeah.
My younger sister, she's more quiet, not passive aggressive at all, but you got to keep poking her to get a response. My older sister, she gonna talk so much junk that you gonna be like, you know what? Never mind. Like, it don't even matter. But for me, it's very much, what did you say to me?
You know,
like, I'm that person. Excuse you?
I'll tell you another thing, and this is the first time I've ever said this out loud. But again, you know, I feel like through my podcast, I have to be transparent because I just feel like it's other people out there who may feel, you know, maybe going through what I'm going through. But the lack of other people speaking up for me.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Nobody spoke up for me when I was young, when I was going through what I was going through. Nobody. So as an adult and realizing that the same stuff kept happening to me and people saying or doing whatever, I feel like now if I don't speak up, who gonna do it?
Who gonna do it?
Who gonna do it? Nobody don't speak up for me. So, you know, and therapy helps because I'm learning how, because it's a way you can speak up for yourself without going overboard, like I said, or without it being negative. You know, I can call you out and be just as respectful, but you gonna know I ain't playing.
That energy.
You gonna know I'm about what I'm talking about.
That energy don't go, hey, that's that nice nasty. I'm gonna say it.
You gonna know I'm about what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, you know, probably had I had someone to speak up for me in a way that I felt like I needed, then maybe I would be a little different now, a little more balanced. Because I get unhinged sometimes, y'all.
Oh, I get unhinged.
I'm human
all the time.
I'm so human.
But I also feel like as children or people growing up, that's why a lot of us don't feel So for me, trying to figure out the best way to say this. This year, this March 11th, my 32nd birthday, I got discharged from a mental institution. And people could not believe that it was me. I told y'all, 2019, it's been a journey. It's been a battle. And the question that people ask that really irks me, because they asked the same thing when I was in my abusive marriage, you know, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you speak up? And people were angry with me because they didn't, like, you just up and went to the hospital. We didn't even know all this is going on. And I said, I have to be honest with y'all. Anybody that has a feeling about any part of my life, the question you should be asking yourself is, why did I not feel safe enough to share with you
now.
Where I was?
Yep.
That's good right there.
Yep.
Ain't nobody answered that question yet. Here we are, dang, they're about to go into 2023.
See?
Because at the end of the day, we want people, they don't support, they don't care, they don't love, but at the end of the day, if I don't feel safe to share those parts of me with you, that's not on me. You should be asking yourself.
Right.
Because that's me telling you I don't feel safe. Like the people that didn't speak up for you. Even though you say, well, I wouldn't be who I am today, I feel like you are exactly who you're supposed to be today. Because now you get to speak up for other people.
Yeah.
Who don't know that they have permission to speak up for themselves. I'm like that too. I don't like to see other people mistreated.
Oh, yeah, I'm not.
Babies, children, and old people.
I'm not going for that.
I turn into a dragon.
I'm not going.
Like, I probably will fight you.
I'm talking about a real dragon. No, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail
blowing
behind
fire, right?
And it's crazy that you would say that because I was talking about in another episode how I recently had a situation, and it was a test. I'm sure it was a test, but I was talking about how the enemy will bring things back from your past to try to taunt you or whatever the case may be. And so y'all, it was a 2-part test, and I passed the part and I failed the part because in the midst of the flowing trigger, they messed around and mentioned my mama. And baby, what you do that for?
What you say about my mama?
Because guess who gonna go to jail about mine?
Yeah.
And so I had to quickly.
You quickened.
When the pastor say things are about to shit quickly. I had to quickly gather myself because I was really about to. But that's the thing. So the enemy will try to take something and use it, you know, to get you off your set. And that was one of the things that they tried to say.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and this and this and this and that. No, I done made peace with that. You know what I'm saying? I made peace with that. You can't torment me with that. It's all good in my camp. Yeah. I don't live there no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what I might have felt like. And my mom is beautiful. She is a wonderful person. I love my mama. And, you know, there was a time in my life where I feel like, you know, my mom didn't speak up for me in the way that I thought that I wanted her to. But I don't hold that against my mama.
Right.
I don't hold it against her. I feel like now at this juncture, I needed to go through exactly what I went through to be here today.
And your mama grew up in a different time period.
She did. And that's why I think a lot of people don't understand. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's just not the same. So where I used to maybe feel a certain way, I don't. You know, I don't. And, you know, I say this for lack of a better, but I forgive my mama.
Yeah.
I forgive my mama. My mama did the best she could with what she had. You know what I'm saying?
And what she knew how to do.
And what she knew how to do. So I don't hold that. I don't hold it against her.
Do you think that she was, she already thought that you were so strong? Or that she was just like, you know what?
I think my mama wanted me to be strong.
Right.
Because she's strong.
Right.
And believe it or not, y'all, me and my mama just had a conversation this morning. And I told my mom, I said, Ma, I had to understand that you were where God needed you to be. But at a certain point, I had to leave for my own sanity. Because you're strong, Mama, but I wasn't as strong as you. So where somebody would say something to you and you could stand up and you were tough, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't. And so during the time, you know, I was so young and I couldn't be as vocal about it to her. I didn't feel like it was a safe space to go to her and tell her, like, hey, I feel like you don't got my back. You just let these people say and do and run over me and talk to me and say anything to me. Like, I couldn't say that to her.
Right.
You couldn't then. See, you can have that conversation.
Yeah, I can have that conversation.
And my mom was
now.
like, you alpha female, that is my mama. And I am my mama's child.
Me too.
But I grew up saying, you know how when you're a child and you see your parents do stuff or they move, I'm never going to do that.
Yeah.
And everything I said I wasn't going to never be do.
Here you go.
I am the exact same.
Here you go.
Right.
But I also know I have a knowledge that I share with my family too. Like, you can always choose differently.
Yeah.
I can be this, what people like to say, boss female. I will never refer to myself as a boss. Like, I hate that with a passion. But I could be that. But I can also be calm, and I can be nurturing, and I can be supportive. I can be that soft, more feminine person too. Depends on what environment I'm in.
Yeah.
I always try to create my own environment, but if you come in here and you stir up something, then you're gonna get the hard me.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's not that I'm triggered by anything, but that I'm this and I'm that. You get to choose which version of me you want.
Right.
My mom taught us to always speak up for yourself. She had this rule. And when I told it to one of my good friends, he was like, I don't know if I like that. But her rule was, if you gonna get in trouble, it better be your idea.
That's good.
If you gonna get in trouble, it better be your idea. You better be a leader out here.
Right. And don't be out here following
nobody.
Yeah.
And they were like, but shouldn't she say don't get in trouble? Nah, my mama know her child.
Right.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
But it was always my idea. Because I knew I can't go tell my mama, oh, well, such and such was doing,
Right.
I had them doing this. And that, for me, that was her approach. Somebody say something crazy, if it was an adult, hey, come holler at me, she would handle it. I'm not saying with my child, like, I done had to tell family members, don't do that, she likes her glasses. They so big. That's what she wanted.
That's what she wanted.
And it is phenomenal. You're not going to do that to my child.
That's right.
I have those conversations all the time. Keep your opinions about my child to yourself.
That's right. And don't get me wrong, now, there were certain instances where now my mom was going to step. She was going to step. And we were talking about one this morning. I had an incident with a teacher. And the first time, and she was like, Cortney, do you remember that? And she remembered it, and I didn't even remember hardly. But I had a teacher one time who was, kind of picking at me, and she called home one time, and I never got in trouble at school. Mm-hmm. So for a teacher to call my mom, that was something. So, I got in trouble, and she ended up, she gave me a whooping for it. And then maybe like a week or two later, I came home again, and I was crying. I'm like, Mom, like, this lady is picking at me, like. And so, and I told her, I told the teacher that, I'm going to tell my mom. She was like, oh, well, and she going to believe me anyway because you got in trouble the first time. So I told my mom
That's what she messed up.
And I'm like, Ma, this lady thinks that, she keeps saying I'm going to get in trouble because you believed her over me the first time. So, and my mama stepped up to that school and did what she had to do. So, I don't want it to come across as, I felt like there were critical moments where I needed that same energy. I needed that same step. You know what I'm saying? But now she was going to step by her kid.
But see, like I said, I also feel like to be who you are today, you had to go through everything the way you went through it. Because now you can speak up for other people. Like I'm a voice for other people.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, you
very much so.
Oh, what they said. Okay, bet. We about to handle that.
Very much
because
so.
At the end of the day, I know what it's like when you don't have a safe place to tell anybody. Like, yo, yeah, I know. I'm smiling and I'm happy, but they just effed me over.
Seriously.
Like they just did a number on me.
Truly.
And so I think that you needed to be
and I did.
Needed to go through
and
that.
Again, everything that I've gone through, it taught me about, how to go from if them folks to facing myself. Yeah. Facing the people who I felt like did me so wrong. And then moving into that place of forgiveness. But it's hard, y'all.
And forgetting.
It's hard.
It is hard, but it's not impossible.
It's not impossible. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible.
It's not impossible.
Especially not with God. But, it's just because people real foul out here in these streets, y'all.
Listen,
people foul out here.
People be peopling. The hardest thing about life, I tell people, even with parenting is not hard. It's dealing with all the other stuff that I have to deal with while I'm parenting. Yeah. Doing business is not hard. It's having to deal with people in business. Yeah. Doing ministry is not hard. It's dealing with other people.
I'm telling you.
It's like it's so interesting that sometimes we put ourselves in these silos of it, it's so hard for me. It's happening to me. I'm like, everybody going through something.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's going through something.
Everybody.
So who are you dealing with? I've asked people, they come to me crazy, who are you talking to right now?
Like, who are you?
Because we don't communicate this way. We don't raise our voice. We don't have attitudes. We don't throw. I'm very much a straight shooter. Start asking people when they come at you. Who are you talking to right now?
Oh, that's my favorite thing. Now
but
know
I
that's
be
my
really
favorite
asking that. Hold up. Now let me. The other side, the more calmer side.
Oh, okay. Because I'm quick. That's my favorite line.
It's like, who are you talking to? But more than that, it's more so. Are you talking to me, or are you talking to your mama you have unresolved trauma with? Are you talking to that ex that used to talk to you crazy? Mm-hmm. Are you talking to the bus driver that picked on you? Yeah. Are you talking to the pastor that abused you?
That's good.
Or that used you for your gift? Who are you talking to? Because you're not talking to me right now. Right. Because we don't have this problem. Right. Again, people will never be able to answer you sometimes. That's my way of diffusing people too. Gotcha. Start asking them some questions that make them have to go, wait a minute, who am I talking to?
Who am I talking to?
Because she ain't never did that to me. Right. She ain't never been disrespectful, so why would you think I would do that now? Right. So that's why I say it's the other who are you talking to.
It's the other one, not the one I be, because
Oh, that's me too. Who are you talking to right now? But it's...
But no, who are you talking to?
No, who are you talking to? Because a lot of times you'll find they're not actually talking to you. Right. And again, it goes back to allowing you to be able to forgive them.
Yes, because if you forgive them, when you release that, then you won't be talking to people crazy no more.
Exactly.
When you release that. And so there's so much freedom in forgiveness, y'all. Like, it's so much freedom. And that's really the driving point that I want to say. I mean, I could talk all day about people who done did me wrong. Man, you know what I'm saying? Listen. I got a whole, I can go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about my closest, the people. One thing about me, I ask God, and that's why they say you better be careful what you ask God for. I'm so serious.
Like, I'm not praying about that.
You better be so careful what you ask God for. Mm-hmm. Like, right when I started to, kind of get a hold a little bit over my life, and I started doing good things and, kind of tapping into my purpose a little bit, and I start on this journey. I started asking God. I said, God, listen, that typical prayer, whatever's in me that's not good, take it out. Whoever's around me, if it's anybody who and don't mean no good, remove them. Do y'all not? God took both of my best friends. Do you hear me?
Look, over here lonely right now because I'm like, I prayed that prayer earlier this year.
Did you hear what I said? I said he took both of my best friends. Best friends.
Yeah.
I don't call nobody best friend. I don't refer to people like that because I never had one.
Yeah.
And then when I think I stumble up on it in my adulthood, I did it twice, 2 times. 2 people have ever held, only 2 people have held that title in my life, and he took both of them from me. I ain't mad at him. Shout out to him, I don't hold no grudges. This is where I came to a place to realize God will remove people. It don't necessarily mean, even if they did you bad, it don't mean that they're bad people, but they couldn't go in that next season.
Exactly.
Or you couldn't go into their next season. Whichever one. So he had to cause a little rift, so that y'all go yourself. That's how I choose to look at it.
And people are always surprised. Again, when you have a big personality like I do, they just assume that you always are the one causing issues, and I'm not. But I don't fall out with people.
Yeah.
We just peacefully.
Yeah.
We stop talking as much.
Yeah.
We stop seeing each other. Like, it's always, so when I see him in the streets, I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I don't be feeling like I just wish, and I be like, anybody that's left my life, I don't miss them.
Yeah.
No, because for what I'm doing and where I'm going, that means they didn't fit. And for what they're doing and where they're going, that means that I didn't fit for them.
Yeah. I had to go from F them folks real fast with that situation. I had to move. I had to move from.
But don't you feel better?
I do.
See, that's what it's about.
I do. I feel so much better because,
you feel free.
You feel free. And it's like once you release that, you get out of that place of how could they do that to me? How could you do that to the person who you share everything with? How could you do that? Once you move out of that and you realize, hey, it's really bigger than them. Mm-hmm. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than y'all's, what you thought was your friendship, that little bubble y'all that y'all was in. It's bigger than that.
Yep.
You got somewhere bigger to go. Maybe they got somewhere bigger to go. Y'all just couldn't go together. So then you quickly move.
I'm going to get to my bigger first, though. Anybody that left me, I'm going to get...
you
I just want to put that out there.
Like, you quickly move from that, man, F them folks to, nah.
It's all good.
It's good.
Do you feel like it's, you can get to a point where you start cutting out so many people that it may look like you may be the problem?
Well, here's the thing about that. I typically don't do the cutting. God usually does the separating when it comes, because I'm the type of person, and anybody could say, if you called both of them right now and sat them in the room, I'm the person that forgives and forgives and forgives, and you can come back and back and back and back and back and circle the block 50 times, and I'm gonna hug you again, and I'm gonna love you, and I'll let you right back in. So for something to happen that a serious step, God has to do the separating for me, because I don't have the heart to do it.
Right.
I got the heart though.
I don't got the heart to do it.
Y'all, that's probably bad for me. It don't take nothing in my brain. Now, it's even worse now because of my brain. But even me pre-medication, pre-therapy, it don't take nothing for me to let people go. Because we don't fall out. It's just, I was just very absolute. Yeah. And that's just what I needed for that time. Yeah. And once it's done, it's done.
Right.
And so most of the time I'm like, I can never say I'm the problem.
Right.
Maybe there is not. It's neither one of us.
Right.
It's just
and
time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like,
time.
Of course, I'm not no perfect person. And I tell people all the time, I'm not perfect in relationships. I'm not perfect in friendships. But one thing about me that I stand on is that I'm all about accountability, and I'm all about making it right. So there is not a single person in the world that's associated or tied to me that'll say, Cortney did me wrong, and I went and told her, and she didn't try to make it right.
I got about 5 things you did to me. I just want to put out there.
Vlad, shut up. But seriously, I'm the person that will try to make it right, because I realize that I'm not perfect. But now what you not going to do...
And if I ain't trying to make it right, that means I didn't know, and you didn't
I didn't know. And we can't hold people responsible for things that they don't even know is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We just can't do that. And a lot of people do that. And y'all be running around talking about F these folks, and they don't even know what they did to you.
That's a good episode, Expectations.
That's really good.
That'd be a good episode.
It really
you should do that one.
I'm going to call y'all back for that one. But yeah, you be running around here talking about F these folks, and they don't even know what they did wrong.
What I do?
They be like, what did I do?
Yeah,
that's another thing that helped me to speak up.
Yeah.
Because how am I crushed and over here upset or hurt or angry at something you said, and maybe because I'm sitting here and I'm taking it and I'm not saying nothing and I'm standing up and I'm popping back up. You think it's okay to do me that way. Because you don't think that it's affecting me.
But if you don't tell them.
Exactly. So now I have to speak up. I have to say, hey, what you said, that was wrong.
Do you feel like it's kind of tough at times? Because for me, I don't even allow people in my life that I think would even get to a point with me like that. That's not family.
Yeah, I think I think you have to really know a person for a while. You got to get in a place like I don't block people out on the strength of I don't know if you'll do something. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because again, we're all imperfect. I think that at some point in a friendship or a relationship or whatever, there will be a stage where you see a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, or something's gonna happen where you see how they handle it or how they carry it or whatever. So I let people in.
I let people in too, but I be like, and that's my parenting style. You get access to the world until you show me that you can't handle it.
And then after
that, I pull back.
And then I'm pulling back.
Of course, I'm a little hurt, like me be mad. Might be some stuff going down, but for me, it's easier to just be open and let people in than it is to, well, let me let this person in, and I just feel like I would miss out on something. Than if I keep that wall or that filter. Like there are boundaries and then there are walls. Yeah. Most people have walls. They don't know what setting boundaries looks like.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm bad at setting boundaries. I just the walls.
It's the wall is there.
Yeah, it's just there. Like I can't.
But boundaries are better, y'all.
Boundaries are better because boundaries is like, hey, you can come to this point, but you can't get here.
Yeah, boundaries are so much better.
And people don't know what that looks like. They automatically, I ain't letting nobody in because I don't want to be hurt. Well, what causes you to be hurt? Create that boundary.
Right.
Let people in, and when they hit that boundary, then you can say, wait a minute. That's a boundary.
But the wall is going to stop you from meeting the greatest person in your life.
And then the wall also stops you from figuring out what the boundary is.
Yeah.
Because you just got a wall. Most people have walls up. And so you say set boundaries, they're like, oh, build a wall. No. That means if you dating, don't call me after 10 o'clock. Don't text me after 10 o'clock.
Right.
Period. With family, if I say don't come over without letting me know first, you're going to be standing on the other side of that door.
I promise you I'm going to leave you knocking on that door.
I don't care if it's raining. That's a boundary. Right. If I say don't raise your voice when you're talking to me, the moment you get a little elevator, hold up. Hold up, swole up, roll it back.
I mean, you just take that down about 3 notches.
You can't communicate with me that way.
Right.
So that's what that looks like. You allow people to be who they are, but you know, hey, you can only go to this point.
Only go to this point with me.
With me. You might try it with somebody else. But so for me, it's easier. That's why I say I let people have everything. Like I tell people, I love real, real hard. Romantic, friendships, whatever I love hard. But I have boundaries in place.
Yeah.
Once you hit that boundary, you gonna know. Like, oh, wait a minute. She just, okay. Let me try another approach.
That's healthy. That is
healthy. Another approach.
Boundaries are healthy.
And I've met some amazing people. I've really had some amazing relationships. And to those relationships, those boundaries are tested. And then it changes the relationship. Then you realize, nah, this ain't it no more. So if you could focus on that, like, why do you want to keep people out? What are you trying to protect yourself from? Is that what you saw with your mama? What you saw with your daddy? Is it what you saw other people go through that ain't got nothing to do with you?
Right.
Because I know a few people that, like, they're afraid to get married because their parents got divorced. I'm like, what they got to do with you?
Right.
Nothing at all. So you have to.
It is
really
trigger though, because I'm a.
You one of those people?
Yeah, I'm a product of that.
But it ain't got nothing to do with you.
No, I'm not saying I'm like that.
Yeah, but you understand.
But at the time, I was younger when it happened, so it was like right after high school. So to see that,
you internalize it too.
Yeah, I mean it was a lot. Had they just like split up, I would have been like, okay, they're just not together no more. But because the nature of it and how long it just lingered, and how it took like 10 years. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's probably longer than that. So it was just a lot of just stuff, you know what I mean, that you see in that period of time. You're just like, man, this is... I don't know what I need.
Look, my divorce was very quick because, baby, my attorney was arguing with me because I was like, this man is not going to sign these divorce papers because he don't want to be put on child support.
Right.
Can you put tell the judge we doing joint custody, no child support.
Right.
No judge is gonna go for that, Maleeka, please, because all I want is my freedom. I want my name.
Yeah, you just want.
I'll take everything was in my name anyways. I don't want nothing.
Right.
Like if he don't want to sign because he don't want child support, I don't want that. Just let me be free.
Yeah.
Just let me be free. Hey, you can have all of it. Just get on away from around me. Freedom. Like that's me, but I understand when people are hurt, they drag stuff out. Now, for me, when I'm done, I'm done.
That's good.
I am so done. And that's probably why people probably think like sometimes you can just be so cold hearted. No, I'm not. Just when I'm done, I'm done.
I'm done.
Ain't nothing else to fight for.
Yeah.
So, but you should really think about that. What am I protecting myself from? Or what do you think you're protecting yourself from?
That's a real good question.
Right.
And my last question for y'all, to everybody who's listening, I want y'all to give some good insight. How do you move from F them folks to forgiveness? What does that space look like? Like, what advice would you give to somebody who's struggling with harboring bitterness or harboring something that happened to them a long time ago or even recently? Like, how do you move from that place of F them to, hey, I forgive them?
You want to go first?
Yeah. I think just me listening to y'all today and just like, thinking about all the things that have happened in my life, I feel like you just have to, just accept that things are where they are. I think acceptance is hard.
That's good,
man.
You know what I mean? And so for me, once I feel like I can get to that point, then I could say, you know what, it's okay. You know what I mean? It's not that bad. I haven't been shot. You know what I mean? Like once I realize it's not that bad, then I feel like I can get past it. So I feel like acceptance.
That's a big word.
Is a big one.
I would say more than anything, when it comes to forgiveness, I always say, how long do you want to keep repeating the same test? Because you keep failing.
Because, baby, he'll give it to you with different people.
With
you hear
different
me?
people.
You'll keep going through the same thing with different folks.
So that's the truth. How long do you get to choose and you get to decide when you pass the test, when you've mastered that lesson so you can go to the next lesson? And so for me, I like asking questions. That's the coach in me. How long do you want to keep going through this test?
Yeah.
How long do you want to keep going through it? You get to decide. It could be done today, or it can take you another 10, 20, 30 years. How long? Because as long as you keep going through the same lesson, you are holding up your destiny, and you're holding up the destiny of all the other people that you're supposed to help.
That's so true.
So make a decision. How long you want to keep going through it? Make a decision.
That's so true. And to cap that off, like I'm kind of piggybacking on what you were saying. My thoughts are, for as long as you're harboring something in your heart, you're holding up your own progress. You're holding up yourself. You're blocking because you're blinded by just bitterness or hate or whatever it is. It is. Unforgiveness is a wall. And that wall has to break. And then you can set healthy boundaries. Nobody's telling you to keep falling for the same thing over and over again. Nobody's telling you to put yourself back in the position to be hurt in the same way or whatever the case may be. But forgiveness is essential for, moving forward. You can't move forward if you're sitting in unforgiveness. Like, it's a very hard thing to do. You may think you're going forward, but really, you just going in a little circle.
It's like a rocking chair. I tell people, rocking chairs, when you're rocking them, they have momentum. Yeah. They have movement. They are moving.
Yeah.
But where are they going?
Where are they going? You're going nowhere. You're going nowhere fast.
That's it.
Or slow.
Very slow.
Very slow. So, yeah, again, like the whole point of today, y'all, was I hope that y'all have taken something from everything said. I hope that something resonates with you. I hope that, if you're in a place where someone has wronged you, that you will. And one more thing, y'all, which is a big one. This is the biggest one. You got to learn how to forgive people who ain't even sorry.
Ooh.
I'm going to cap off on that one. You got to learn how to forgive people who ain't even sorry that they hurt you. You still got to forgive those too.
That one right there makes me want to fight.
Swing.
He still want to fight. I thought we was healing.
I thought we was healing. You know what I'm saying? I thought we got.
He still want to fight.
But that is one of that is big. So I just want to put in your minds and in your hearts that requires forgiveness as well. Those people, they require forgiveness as well. And, you know, we have to work toward that. It is, as my good sis said, that's a better word. It's a journey. It's a journey. It won't happen overnight. Or if you're her, it will happen overnight because she just forgive people quickly. But that ain't all of our testimonies, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Some of us need a little extra assistance. We need, you know, that extra mile or 2 or 10 if you're me. But, yeah, forgiveness, y'all. Like, one thing about it, we all mess up. We all fall short. Everybody know that saying scripture. We all fall short, but, you know.
We fall.
But it's up to us to get up. Again, you're not responsible for nothing that was done to you, but you are responsible for your response and your reaction. So let's learn let's practice, you know, reacting and responding in a better way. I'm preaching to myself right now.
The next one will be the F word. Let's free them people.
Free them people. Because forgiveness is freedom, y'all. It really is. Forgiveness is freedom. And when you forgive, you unlock that door to freedom. And you're no longer bound by what they did to you, what they said to you. And you can move on in peace and in purpose. Amen.
Amen.
Thank y'all so much for coming to hang out with me today. I really appreciate it. Y'all tell the people how they can find you on social media.
I'm everywhere at Maleeka Holloway. That's spelled MaleekaHollaway. But like I like to say, just Google me. You'll find me. I'm out here.
She said, Google me, baby.
Google me. I'm out here. He said, excuse me.
I'm on Instagram at Vlad on the Mix, and that's it.
Maleeka, Vlad, thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Cortney.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Your own
again.
stuff.
Oh, God. Listen, if y'all don't know me by now, you will never know me. Nah, I'm just playing. Listen, if you're not already following me, you can find me on IG at Coffee with Court. That's Court without a U, CORT. Or you can find me on TikTok at Coffee with Cortney. Again, hold the U. Y'all, thank y'all so much for listening. I really appreciate y'all for hanging and rocking with me. Tune in next week for episode 4, where we're going to be talking about She Wants the D. And y'all already know it's not what y'all think, but y'all just come back next week to see what I'm talking about. Love y'all. Bye. Thank you.